This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Baidalan.
Heyo, good morning.
In the hizzy on this lovely morning after the greatest day in NBA play in history.
It was a fun one, man. It was a fun one.
What a doubleheader of basketball. We'll get into it momentarily. I asked yesterday, 24 hours ago, I'm like, what's your favorite? I was sort of derisively. What's your favorite moment in play in history? Meaning there was none.
Here's the thing
there is now.
Is it all doesn't count, too. So, nothing counts. This is all just, if it's a great moment for you, it's just in your imagination 5 years from now, because it's not statistically in the record books anywhere.
That's correct. But there are betting implications, which I want to get into. On the show today, Will Hill will join us. All of his bets coming up this hour. Stormy Bonatoni. There we go. Getting Stormy on the show. Nice job. She'll talk NHL playoffs with us. 2 more days of the regular season. But everything is set in the East. Nothing much but one series set in the West with just 2 nights left, including the Pacific Division. We'll talk to Stormy about all things NHL playoffs. Todd Wishnev a little later on. Toddy talking MLB with us. Paul Sporer on Major League Baseball. Nick Whalen a little later on the NBA playoffs. And Kelly and I, we always do this. We were like, we don't know if people care that we do this, but we have a ball doing this. Mm-hmm. This is going to be our top 10 NBA power rankings heading into the playoffs. Obviously, night of play-in still to come tonight, and then play-ins being resolved on Friday night. But we're just gonna power rank our top 10 teams.
Yes,
and we'll repeat this when we do it later, but let me just say this. I predict that everybody on Earth has the same 5 teams in whatever order in the top 5.
Oh, interesting.
And then I believe no one has the next 5 teams the same, because it depends how you do this. The way that I did it is...
Who's the 5th team? I feel like I could see 4.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that about the 5th
I think
team.
you could make a lot of arguments.
Yeah, maybe you can. Maybe you can. I will say this. The next 5, though, it really all depends on what you're prioritizing. For me, it's can the playoffs work out in a certain way?
Obviously, me and you should have texted about this, but I did it that way, too.
And not necessarily path, either. It's more like if all things gelled for those teams. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, kind of confidence rankings, right, of making it to the finals.
That's right. And we might have some big golf news coming down the pipe during the show today. I don't know.
I don't really know either. I'll tell you, 2 hours ago, it felt way more likely that we were going to be hearing something official about Liv going away during the show today, but it is a lot of back and forth on Twitter right now.
Liv may be kaput.
Yes.
We shall see. We'll monitor that situation. As far as the games last night, let me just start with the second one first, because that's the easier one to get through, just in terms of time spent on it. Denny Avdia. What a night of basketball from Avdia. You may recall a couple Super Bowls ago when I went on vacation I was out for 2 weeks, and the very first thing I said on air when I came back was, what was the greatest thing that happened during my 2 weeks off? And you're like, I don't know what. And I said, Denny Avdia's tickled the strings to 43 balloons in a game for the Wizards at the time.
And that was forever ago at this point, man, in the career of Denny Avdia.
And my comment at the time was, that's like an 86-point night for a Gentile, right? That was amazing. And I couldn't believe that the Wizards let this dude go in a trade.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely outraged by it. And the only conclusion I can come to, young Kelly Bidlin, I'll say it out loud, they judged a book by its cover in more ways than one. Denny Avdia last night, 41, baby. 41 points for the Portland Trailblazers. You said it best via text this morning. More than 37 people finally got to see him play basketball.
Yep.
41 points, 7 boards, 12 assists, including the layup that gave the Blazers the lead at 109-108, and then when the Suns retook it at 110-109, 3 the hard way from Avdia to the rack with 16 seconds left. That held after Jalen Green missed a 3. Blazers are in the playoffs as the 7 seed. They win the 7-8 game. They were the 8 in terms of the standings, but they become the official 7 seed now in the Western Conference playoffs, and for their efforts, they get to play a best-of-7 series against the Spurs.
But if you just want the quick highlight recap of Denny Avdia, if you haven't been watching the past couple years, that last play, especially this year. The man leads the NBA in drives to the basket, has done it all regular season.
Downhill player.
Carved up. How many Suns defenders did he go through in that play? There was like 4 of them.
Getting knocked around the whole time, just getting banged up. Now, is that going to work against Spurs where Wembanyama waits under the rim?
It's going to be a little tougher.
Not. Probably not.
I'll tell you what, though. This was we talked about it yesterday, Gil. Like, I was hoping that the Blazers would win this game because I think that they will at least put more pressure on the Spurs than the Suns. Me and Drew completely disagreed on that. I actually think that with Donovan Clingan in the middle, it makes things a little bit tougher for Spurs to get to the rim easily. Yes, I don't think the Blazers are going to win this series by any means, but they could force a couple close games, I think, against the Spurs.
I was going nuts. I was going nuts watching the end of this game. Now the Suns are not eliminated. Suns await the winner of the 9-10 game tonight between the Dub Show and the Clip Show.
You know what the other one I just realized real quick? It's the Scoot Wemby matchup that everybody's been waiting years for now. Number 1 versus number 2. Finally.
That day we went to the Dollar Loan Center Arena.
It's all coming back around.
It's all coming around. Blazers will get that best-of-7 series against the Spurs, and the Suns await the winner of the Clippers and Warriors tonight. That game will determine the ultimate game between the Suns, and the winner of that game will be Friday night. That will determine the 8th seed, who will have a best-of-7 against the Thunder. The game before that, though, was the headliner, as it turned out. Heat Hornets. This was the 9-10 game in the East. Remember, loser eliminated, winner just advances or at least survives one more basketball game till they play the loser of the 7-8 tonight between the Sixers and Magic. Second quarter, first minute, nip and tuck game. Bam Adebayo off balance, corralling a loose ball and trying to pass it, and LaMelo Ball sort of instinctively grabs his. Now, I'm giving him grace here by saying instinctively.
Oh, yeah.
I do think it was instinctively. Some people are going to say it was a dirty play. It's somewhere in that world.
I heard a couple players say, "Hey, this is kind of something you do instinctively to make sure your hand doesn't get stepped on or someone falls on it."
Yeah, I think there is some instinct to it. There is some footage of him doing it to Bam in 2024 as well.
I was going to wait for that.
Bam falls awkwardly with no way to sort of impact his fall. Hurts his back.
Yeah.
Never to return in the game. Again, the author of the 83-point performance here in the last month of the NBA season. Gone from the Heat lineup from that point forward. First minute of the second quarter. So the Heat are hamstrung. Does that in any way deter the Miami Heat? Of course not, because they're the Miami Heat, for God's sakes. Let's just fast forward. 102-102, just over 4 minutes to go. What a flurry. What a flourish to the finish of this game. Wiggins 3, 105-102. Wiggins 3, 108-102. Brandon Miller 3, comeback, 108-105 Heat. Hero 3, 111-105. The Heat actually have the ball up 6 with less than 2 minutes to go. They cannot capitalize. Miles Bridges 3, 111-108 Heat. Heat with the ball up 3. Hawk has fouled with less than 30 seconds to go. He makes 1 of 2. It's 112-108. Brandon Miller 3 with 19 seconds left. 112-111. Hero fouled. He makes both. It's 114-111 Heat with 13 seconds left. And then the Hornets, and you got to figure, are the Heat going to foul? What are they going to do here? The Hornets inbounds. They don't give the Heat a chance to foul. It's a inbounds catch and shoot Kobe White turnaround splash 3. One of the most amazing threes you'll ever see given the stakes.
Yep.
Kept his feet inbounds too. They didn't really emphasize that enough, I don't think.
Welcome back to North Carolina, Kobe White, right?
Kobe White just put him within the border. But 114, 11 seconds left. Hero misses a 3. We're going to overtime. And then in the overtime, it does what happens. Underdogs go to die in overtime. It felt that way, right? 120.
I was hoping.
123, 118 Hornets with the ball with under a minute to go in overtime. Bridges air balls. The shot clock winds down. So the Heat get the ball. Davion Mitchell played great. Drives to the hole. It's 123-120 Hornets with 48 seconds to go. Timeout. And then Amazon technical difficulties.
Dude.
lasted 1 minute and 50 seconds. Did they miss the LaMelo Ball bucket on the broadcast?
From people I've talked to, I think it was a little dependent on your Amazon and maybe your location, because me and JVT seem to miss the same amount of time.
I missed 1 minute and 50 seconds. I missed a LaMelo Ball drive to the bucket.
And that's what Danny and I were discussing this morning. It felt like we missed 2 possessions, 1 bucket.
No, I missed 1 possession, 1 bucket, which was Ball, because it was during a timeout, so there was only 1 possession in the end. 125-120. Amazon thankfully comes back with 26 seconds left. It was 1 minute and 50 seconds of real time, 22 seconds of game time.
Like, Zach missed more than this, though.
Oh, really?
He was telling me he missed more than this.
Oh, my God. Anyway, Hero, insane 3 from the corner, as impressive as White's was. 125-123, all of a sudden with 24 seconds left. Hornets bring it up court. Larson steals it from LaMelo, gets it to Hero. Hero races to the corner, 3-point attempt, fouled by Ball. 92% free throw shooter. Hero hits them all. 126-125 Heat with under 9 seconds left. Ball to the rack. LaMelo, that is. Got it. 127-126 Hornets. Under 5 seconds left. Mitchell sprints into the front court to the bucket. Blocked by Bridges. Ball game. What a classic. What a game. Heat eliminated. Hornets await the winner of Sixers Magic loser to play for the 8th seed. Mitchell, 28. Wiggins, 27. Hero, 23 in defeat. Ball, 35 and 10. Bridges, 28-9. Miller, 23. White, 19 off the bench. 5 from 8 from behind the arc. And I want to talk about this after the break. Con Kneppel, 6 points on 2 of 12 shooting. 0 for 6 from behind the arc.
Benched, Con.
We must discuss Con Kneppel. We must discuss Denny Avdia. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Oh, I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. Next on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Who's your friend?
Oh, this is AI Sports Betting Bot 3000. Watch this.
Hello, bet $100 on Chicago.
Great idea. Too bad Chicago's not playing.
You just passed the test. Put it on New York.
You know their goalie just got injured.
No.
Automated bet tracking, community data-driven insight. Download the app free and bet smarter with Juice Reel.
Good robot.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Jeff Seeley, best bets in the upcoming RBC Heritage. Jacob Infante breaks down the NFL draft board and props. Mike Palm with another edition of You Cannot Be Serious, and only 2 days left in the NHL season. And Matt Humans with his best bets for the upcoming weekend and another day of the play-in with the NBA. Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As always, the website in full effect while we're on air, while we're off air, 24/7. That's how the information superhighway works, Kelly. I don't know if you know that.
It's open.
VSiN.com, Zach Cohen's Magic, Sixers, Warriors, Clippers previews, Wes Reynolds' RBC Heritage preview picks, Greg Peterson's MLB best bets, and later today you can check out Steve Makinen's Advent Health 400 NASCAR simulation. Wow.
Vroom, vroom.
Jonathan, so stupid. That's what we're doing now. Jonathan Davis' NHL best bets and NBA first round series previews. Get VSiN Pro for as little as $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. Find all of our subscription options at VSiN.com/subscribe. Back to this game last night.
I had way too much fun with that.
Let me just read. Let me read a couple of these. One, this is Matthew Mayberry. He says, I missed the same amount as you did, Gil. I'm in Pennsylvania. So I think most people had my experience, which is it's 125-120.
I also
Davion Mitchell gets the 2. Was I got the score right? Anyway, he cuts it to 3. Whatever. 123-120.
Yeah.
He cuts it to 3. 48 seconds left. There's a timeout. Amazon technical difficulties. Mine lasted 1 minute and 50 seconds in real time, 22 seconds in game time, because I missed LaMelo Ball scoring to go back up 5.
Me too.
Then it thankfully comes back.
I also did though, I can't say for sure either because you just let it go and it came back, right?
Yes.
I did the whole exit out and get back in, and as soon as I got back in, it was fine.
Oh no! I let it go because I was like, I'm gonna want to know exactly how long this is. And then when it came back, then I rewound to see what was the exact amount of time it was out. And by the way, when it's going, it's horrifying because you're like, I don't know if it's coming back. Are we really going to miss the end of this game?
I'm gonna paraphrase a text from Zach last night. Amazing night for the NBA. Terrible night for streaming sports.
Terrible.
And there's there has to be people in NBA offices last night, and I would hope Adam Silver as well, thinking you can't have this.
Nope.
It's great making all this money from these services. You cannot have something like that.
In fact, I'm almost rooting for it to happen a couple more times so they get rid of this thing.
You know what, Gil? Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That was
because then there's a trickle-down effect.
We were on the cusp of something that we would never forget. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine if we missed the end of that?
No, I'm with you. I didn't think about that part of it last night. I hope it happens a couple more times.
Yep.
Because then there's a trickle-down effect, too. If you're the NFL watching this, you might say, okay, it's fine if it's the NBA. That could not happen to us.
That's exactly right. That would be wonderful also. In fact, no international games while we're at it. Why risk that?
This is what I'm rooting for now. You're right. I hope we get a couple more freezes. I'm rooting for a freeze tonight. Just like a red card yesterday in soccer. I'm rooting for Amazon Prime to lock up. Actually, are they on tonight? I don't even know if it is tonight.
Oh.
I think they are.
I would assume, but who knows? Who knows? I'm Prime. Yeah, they're on Prime again. Thank you, Danny. The full LaMelo Ball experience last night?
Oh, you don't go full LaMelo, and they went full LaMelo last night. This was
all the good, all the bad.
All the good, all the bad. I wrote down so many notes on LaMelo, just prepared for us to be taking 8 minutes of destroying him today.
Okay, maybe not 8.
Yeah, exactly. But and then I just at the end, I'm like, and then he wins the game, and then he wins the game
with 2 buckets at the end.
I mean, I was very upset towards the end of this game last night because you saw the Charlotte Hornets reverting back to bad Charlotte Hornets. And this is LaMelo Ball drive everything. Don't trust anybody else because Khan is ice cold and he's jacking up terrible threes. He finishes the game 2 for 16. 16 3-point attempts from LaMelo Ball last night. Makes 2 of them. And meanwhile, finally, you had guys like Kobe White steps up. Brandon Miller's playing well. Miles Bridges was the best player out there for the Hornets last night. And there's no trust to get these guys involved more. LaMelo's just settling for driving, taking his own shots. The defensive lapses at the end of that game, I thought completely cost them until he went and won it.
How many times was this game won or lost by both teams?
It's wild.
Where you were convinced, well, there you are, Hornets. There you go, NBA Hardos. There go your Hornets. That was at least 2 or 3 times. Same thing with the Heat at the end. It was never over till it was over. I believe Yogi Berra said that.
And then real quick on the Bam stuff, just to finish that, because I'm glad you put it like you did. In real time, I didn't really think there was much. There, the Heat players continued playing. You almost never see that when a star player goes down like that. They keep playing on the offensive side. They don't foul right away when they get back on defense. I thought there was a lot of confusion on my part of what really went down. In the first highlight, I thought you laid it out well, because the first highlight I saw, or the replay I saw, it was not the super slow-mo, and you're kind of like, all right, Bam's off balance. Yeah. LaMelo's kind of reaching out. Then when you go super slow-mo, and then when you pull up the clip from a couple years ago when LaMelo Ball did the same thing, it looks real bad.
Tripping Bam.
Yeah.
Eric Spoelstra was not as gracious after the game. I love Spoelstra. Quote, I'm not making an excuse. The Hornets played great. They made those plays down the stretch. We had our opportunities to win. That's a shame. You should be penalized for that. I don't think that belongs in the game. Tripping guys. Shenanigans. Actually, shenanigans. There was no foul call. They didn't review it. They didn't do anything.
No foul call. Yep.
Bobby Marks, who does the NBA stuff for ESPN, he was saying before the game, the starting five for the Hornets, plus 27.4 points per 100 possessions, league best, and 31-9 in games started. They were about to be 31-10. Talking about Ball, Bridges, Miller, Diabate, and Kneppel. By the way, accent on the final Leon, Diabate. Khan, he pointed out, in his last 10 games headed into last night, 34.7% from three. For the season, he was 42.5%. So Khan's last 10 games, all of a sudden, he is not hitting at the same rate behind three. Last night, as I mentioned, 0 for 6 from behind the arc in a 2 for 12 game where he only scored 6 points. And I just wanted to point this out, which is, most years when it comes to awards betting, it's the end of the regular season, right? That's it. We say it in every sport. Yeah, the playoffs don't count. Well, voting for the 2025-26 NBA awards has been delayed, typically concluding just before the play-in tournament, but now this year adjusted to resolve 65-game rule appeals. Because remember, you got guys like Luka who are like, wait, I should still be eligible.
Yeah.
Right? Guys like that. So they're delaying the deadline for when you have to turn in your votes for these awards. While ballots usually close immediately following the regular season, April 12th, it would have been this year, final voting now expected during this week, between the regular season and the playoffs. So the voting is not over. So my thing is, last night, I wonder if Denny Avdia became the most improved player in the NBA with his 41-point performance, pacing the Blazers to that win. And you know where I'm going, Kelly. I'm sorry to say this. Did Cooper Flagg just win the rookie? Cooper Flagg, who had 0 points last I checked last night, 0 rebounds and 0 assists because he was nowhere to be found on a basketball court because his team sucks. Did he win Rookie of the Year last night because people saw Con Kneppel have a terrible game and can then sort of let their brains be influenced by this? Voters talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 100%. If you have a vote out there, nothing that you saw last night should matter. It is the NBA regular season. Nothing should impact your voting process from what you saw last night. It's human brains, though. Can I say there's
human brains
100% sure that nothing changed last night? No, I can't tell you that, Gil. And it's look, if this is going to be. This is actually maybe my lead. This is one of the biggest problems so far of the 65-game thing. This is
the fact that the voting gets delayed.
Right, that the voting gets delayed. And I heard Tim Bontemps say it last week. I haven't seen anything official on a day, but he said last week they were not expected to get ballots until Friday, this Friday. So, yeah, all of that stuff people get to witness. You can't let that happen because human brains are fragile, and this can be impacted.
I texted Zach, who was stumping for Denny up until the last week of the season. I'm like, you may have won this tonight.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I think that one's most improved players, very up.
Isn't Jaquez up for something too?
6-man.
6-man, yeah. Anyway, those two guys, I couldn't help but think that last night. I was like, wait, when do these ballots come in? Let me check. Oh, they're delayed. Avdia 75-1 last week, or in closing, I should say. And obviously, Kneppel and Flagg has been the flip-flopping thing over and over again down the stretch of the NBA season for Rookie of the Year. Anyway, that's a fascinating sort of sidebar.
Oh, it totally is.
I just want to say this about the Hornets again last night from 3. Last night they were Bobby Marks pointing out how good they are with that starting 5. The Hornets last night, and it was reflected in how bad Khan was from 3, the Hornets were 18 of 56 from behind the arc. 56. Just to give you context to that, The NBA record, do you know what the NBA record is for most three-point attempts in a game?
62.
70.
70.
In an overtime game, the Rockets had 70 attempts once. The Hornets actually had 59 attempts in a game in January this year.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, you're hoisting up 56 shots from behind the arc. They only hit 18 of them. So there's two ways to look at that game last night. It's like, well, they lost. The Heat lost Bam. Could have been different from their standpoint. But if the Hornets just hit close to what they normally hit from behind the arc, maybe the Hornets win this going away.
It's also, we talked about it leading up to it. It's the concern zone of one-off game with the Hornets, right? You can go cold. 7-game series, okay, you hope that stuff averages out more.
What a basket.
That's what I'm still just get to a 7-game series, Charlotte.
All right, I promise we'll get to more things. Will Hill, in fact, begins that. All his bets next on a numbers game at VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. We get tweets, speed of the book. Minky Monkey Man. Gil, thoughts on the Skins' new look? Any nod to the 1991 and Joe Gibbs era Skins? Give it to me. Archie Green. You can bet Amazon will not be getting any games next year. Then the contract go into next year, though?
Oh, I would have guessed even longer than that.
More than me, too, for sure.
Just started, right?
I don't think it's a one-year deal or anything. Mike Madden Capital was just rewatching Silicon Valley, and this exact thing happened to Hooli streaming the UFC, LOL.
What a great show.
Apparently, yeah, this exact thing happened on Silicon Valley, which, by the way, everybody recommends to me and I've never watched.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's a good show. It's a good show, but like you're either gonna love it or you're not, or you're gonna hate it.
Jason H11. The downside to Kelly's transformation is that you need to get a new wardrobe. That shirt looks like a tent. Keep up the good work.
Dang it!
Wow.
Dang it! I did put this on this morning. I was like, this is getting a little big.
Sartorial advice. Buddhist Man. I was waiting for Heidi to start playing on Amazon Prime last night. That is a reference. Do you know what that reference is to Kelly? Was it Jets Raiders in the 1960s? This was before my time also. Some big game on a Sunday night, getting down to the wire. But NBC had Sunday night Disney.
Oh, yes.
So they had to they just cut the game off and went to Disney. They never did that again.
We had some tech issues at VSiN yesterday that I described as Jurassic Park, and it worked out perfectly.
Great reference.
It's exactly what happened.
Brian Schaefer, 31. I don't know how anybody watches the NBA. All it is a glorified three-point contest. There was 4 minutes where every possession was a three-point shot, as we went through, Brian. Brian? I don't know how you don't like the NBA playoffs, though. That's what I would say.
Gil, year one of an 11-year deal between Amazon and NBA.
There you go. We're going to have Amazon next year, and the year after, and the year after, and you know everyone. Matthew Berry. Exactly what I thought, Gil. Please miss the entire game and end this streaming nonsense. As far as tonight, who knows? It's probably on Peacock or Paramount Plus, HBO Max. Who knows? Brendan, I'm never betting on NBA awards again. This is just like the NBA fair weather. I can't read that, Brendan. I'm sorry. Can't read the rest of that. NBA awards, it should be pointed out, you can't bet on these anymore. They're nowhere to be found. I'm just pointing it out in retrospect now, right? Of Avdia was 75-1 last week. You know what was going on between Kneppel and Flag. Then each Avdia and Kneppel have these one-game situations where Avdia is great, Kneppel's not. He's terrible. Will it influence everything? Now, is this up at FanDuel right now, Danny?
No, these are just where we closed on Monday.
Yeah,
we
these are where you
sure.
closed.
Yep.
That's where you closed.
I'm seeing up at Kalshi.
Oh, Kalshi. Kalshi coming through. Oh, I could do that. What's Avdia at Kalshi? Do they have that one?
I don't know. We got...
All right.
We've got Rookie of the Year, I see right now. Cooper Flag, 60%.
Will Hill joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at @TheWillHill. 2 E's on the V. He is the host of the Shoulda Bet More podcast. He was kind enough to have both me and Kelly on this week.
Yeah.
Yes? Both of us. Wow, getting the big wigs. Will joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Willie, what's happening?
Boys, what's going on? A couple things quickly. Silicon Valley, can't recommend it enough. It's hilarious. You would love it. It is extremely funny. And the Heidi game between the Jets and the Raiders, the Jets, I think, were up 11 points with under a minute to go, and the Raiders scored a touchdown and then got a fumble return for another touchdown to win the game late. And then they met later, a few weeks later, I think maybe a month or so later in the AFC title game. Raiders almost came back again, but the Jets hung on. They won, and then the Jets went on to win the Super Bowl. Little history lesson out there for the boys and girls.
What year was that, Will? Smarty Pants?
68 into 69, right?
I don't know.
All right, geez.
I knew it was late. I knew it was late 60s.
You hit the 60s and the early 2000s in that setup, Will. Anything else in between?
Nice
70s,
job
80s, 90s?
Will Hill right there. Willie, you're like me. You're not an NBA hardo necessarily, but you love the playoffs, don't you?
I do love the playoffs. I think, it's real basketball. Forget the tanking and the load management. It's the sport we watched last night in both games really just so much different than what we got all year. So I'm excited for these games. I think it's a great time of the year, especially out here in the East. It gets warmer. It stays lighter later. You get just warmer, longer days, and having the NBA, NHL playoffs, especially that first round where it's just wall-to-wall action. You got games on 7 o'clock Eastern, 10:30 Eastern. There's just so much product, and then it kind of overlaps with the draft here in a week or so, which is kind of snuck up on us. But I love this time of year, and I do love the playoffs.
Before we get to the actual playoffs, let's talk about the play-ins tonight. Sixers Magic. 7-8 game in the East. Again, delayed because of arena conflict last night. And then the 9-10 out West between the Clippers and the Warriors. How are you playing both of these?
I'll start with the first one here. I like the Sixers. It's funny. If you went back and aggregated all of the picks from the media before the year of like who's going to the finals out of the East, the Magic weren't like a consensus pick, but I think the Magic probably got like, I don't know, 15, 20%. There were real people picking the Magic to go to the finals. When they traded for Bane, people thought maybe conference finals. It just hasn't worked. They've just felt off, dysfunctional all year. That game the other night, to me, is a red flag. You can't lose that game, a game you kind of need to a Boston team that is playing for nothing. To me, that's just a red flag that something is wrong. Something has been off with them all year. I like the Sixers. I know no Embiid, but they're home. Nurse is the better coach. You got to take him over Mosley. He's won a championship. He's won a coach of the year. And to me, in what should be a close game, last 5 or 6 minutes, I want Maxey with the ball in his hands over anyone I want from Orlando. So better coach, probably the best player, home court. I think that's a lot to overcome here for Orlando. So I like Philly. I played him on the money line. As far as Clippers Warriors, depresses me talking about the Warriors because look, I'm not a Warriors fan, but I've loved watching this team. What a great dynasty. They were so fun to watch. It's just like watching your dog get old or your pet get old. Yeah. It's just such a bummer. I like the Clippers. How many minutes is Curry going to play? How do they score when he doesn't play? They're just throwing these guys together last minute. And just from like a narrative standpoint, I mean, they're smart enough to know, and they've been through all these wars. Are they really going to say, you know what, let's rally, let's win a game at the Clippers on the road, let's beat the Suns, and then we're going to go give OKC hell in 7? They got to know this is kind of over for them. So I don't think they can score when Curry sits. I don't know from a matchup standpoint who's going to guard Kawhi. I think the Clippers win and win pretty comfortably. So you can put me down for Clippers minus the points. I do have, and I've shared it, on Twitter, on VSiN, I think on some of the group chats, Warriors plus 800 to miss the playoffs. So I don't feel the need to like add more with the Clippers, but I do think the Clippers win it and probably pull away at some point here.
What I used to call the Warriors, the most beautiful thing in sports. Yeah, now they're like 85 years old, and yeah, was a wonderful time.
Couple things.
Father time.
Couple things real quick. The couple reports coming out yesterday. Per Jake Fisher, Orlando Magic, quote, almost certain to fire Jamal Mosley no matter what happens in the playoffs.
Oh, that's good to know.
Go get him tonight, Orlando.
Go get him, Jamal.
And plus a lot of reports of just not good things happening in that locker room. And then Will brought it up. I have no idea what to make of Kerr saying that the other night about minutes restrictions. I'm kind of calling BS on that, but
Steve Kerr, it is a one-off, sir.
Right, yeah, kind of got to win.
Okay, to the playoffs, the actual playoffs, which begin on Saturday. Hawks, Knicks, the 3-6 in the East. How are you playing this?
Over 5.5 games, which is interesting. And I haven't realized this was such a discrepancy until I was shopping for better prices. You can lay minus 160 at DraftKings. Okay, that's a lot to lay. But you can go to FanDuel, and DraftKings doesn't have this market, but a bunch of other books do. When will the series end? Exactly how many games? 6 is plus 220. 7 is plus 245. If you do the math, you're getting plus money, because if it goes over 5.5, I mean, this just in, it's going to end in either 6 or 7. So play it that way. Don't lay the minus 160. Figure out the math however you want to play it, half a unit on each. But that comes out to, plus 120 something, just however you want to play it, whichever side you like more. But splitting a unit up on it ends in 6, it ends in 7, makes this a plus money bet from a matchup standpoint. Kelly and I were just talking between the break. I think Alexander Walker could probably do a decent job here on Brunson. I think that'll probably be the assignment. You always have to worry about foul trouble. But to me, Atlanta, I know a lot of it's tanking the last couple months, but this team was 20-25. They finished 26-10 before they kind of tanked the game the other day against the Heat. A lot of it is against bad teams, but there's some Magic games in there, some Celtic games in there. I think they have enough to get this to 6 or 7 here. If you really want to go bang for your buck, there's a plus 750 on Atlanta to win in 6, because I don't think they'll win a game 7 in the Garden, and they're not going to win in 4 or 5. So I like those correct series score too, where if one team is going to win, especially the road team, it's usually going to be in 6. They're not going to sweep or win in 5, and hard to win game 7 on the road. So that's not a bad one, but I'll go over the 5.5 games with the exact series.
I like it. Can't wait for that series to start. The 5-4, let's call it the 5-4 instead of the 4-5, because the Rockets are favored in the West. No Luka, no Austin Reeves to start the series for the Lakers. How are you attacking that series?
Yeah, we don't have much time. We're running out of time. I don't need much time. This is going to be a very quick series. If the Lakers had their guys, they would win. They don't, so they won't. I wonder what Kelly thinks. I would actually think if they had just Reeves, they might win, because the Rockets, look, they're no prize. They're so dysfunctional. But, I mean, it's LeBron, and just look at the team around him. It's Kennard, Jake LaRavia, Hachimura. 8, and it's not. They're going to get killed on the glass. The league loses Luka and LeBron and the Lakers and all those brands right away. It's a tough break because they were playing well and they would have beaten the Rockets. But to me, the Rockets, shame on them if they lose a game here. I'll take the just under 3-1 for them to sweep.
Okay. Will, you want to hang for 2 minutes after the break? We won't keep you for the whole segment, but I want to get to some of your baseball because you have a prop and then you have a season long in baseball, which we'll get to with Will Hill on the other side. A little manager of the year play from him and a prop in a ball game today. And then Kelly and me with our NBA Power Rankings.
Go.
Top 10. Oh, I'm very excited. We do not know each other. We submitted to Danny Higgins.
Well, you know one of mine.
I do know one of yours because Danny said Kelly does have a play-in team. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Coming back on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So last night, supposed to have dinner with Dr. Bob again, and my mishpucha, Chrissy Andrews, runs the South Point Hotel Casino Sportsbook. Chrissy gets sick. Chrissy says, I can't come. So it's me and Bob again. But Chrissy just texted me this morning, and Chrissy says, so disappointed I missed dinner last night. I could have bitched about the NFL draft, and even more so about these ridiculous mock drafts. These bookmakers love the NFL draft. I
don't know. I feel like this has been the least amount of pressure, though, on Vegas bookmakers in a long time, because we're like even me and you aren't like sitting up here yelling about why our market's not up or whatever.
Well, because I'm just resigned to nothing. You know, they've beaten the excitement out of me.
And we've also hit the point where it's like the East Coast books are ahead of the bettors at this point. Like they're putting stuff out before people are even ready to fire.
Yeah. Tim Bowers, Bam being gone, way more of a factor than the Hornets' poor shooting. Bam's a good defensive player and could have added more choices of those late-game offensive situations. I think you're right, Tim. And Jesse Welch, shout out to Paul Carr for the red card bet yesterday. There was a ton of red in the Barca game yesterday. However, most of that was players' blood ending up on the field. Late on that red card was shown, though. I don't know what that last sentence means, but yes, red card hits
there we go.
In the game yesterday.
That was fun.
Shout out to Paul Carr, courtesy of the great Chris Felica. Give Chris his credit. Aaron Bender, what do you think about the Commanders' black uniforms? Yeah, I don't like when they go black on black. Give me more of the burgundy and gold. And Stanford Wrong, not Stanford Wong, get it? Stanford Wrong. He said, at least your NBA interruption was brief. I was forced to watch a slow-motion police chase instead of the playoffs. Thank you, NBA, OJ, and AC. Different night, Stanford.
Yeah.
Colin Murphy, I just got back down on Denny for most improved player at a little more than 30-1 on Kalshi. Flag now minus 168 for Rookie of the Year there. Thank you for that update, Colin. Will Hill, kind enough to join us for a second segment. Did your Amazon go out, and for how long last night, Will?
I was watching it on a different feed because, as you know, I was taking in the Hartford Yard Goats and the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Right. So I was watching it on my way home. I didn't have any issues, but rough look to have that happen at that time.
Will and the family, Will, his lovely wife, and his 75 kids, they went to a minor league baseball game yesterday.
What about Charlie?
Charlie does not go to the game, correct? Charlie does not
Minor
go.
League baseball? You can't
Charlie did not go.
They don't have a dog. Bring your dog to the park night?
Or when you return home.
They probably do.
Has Charlie destroyed the house when you return home, or is he pretty tame about that?
We left him with Alyssa's aunts.
Okay. All right.
So she can watch. Last time she dog sat, this is off the beaten path. Last time she dog sat, she took them to Dutch's to get them hot dogs and hamburgers. That did not happen this time. You just get dog food. I guess she made it chicken, but you make it.
Dog has the greatest life ever.
You know your YouTube ratings would go way up, Will, if just every pod you did, you were just holding Charlie the whole time. I mean, like, come on, like a cute little puppy. That's big numbers.
Well, he's big puppy now, is what he is. Anyway, I just wanted to say, because Will shares this with us in the group text, and I don't know about the other three guys because they seem to be a little more nonchalant about it. I'm heartwarmed every time I see this because some of Will's 75 kids, one of them's replacing the base on the field, right? They get to go on. Another one was sprinting around the bases. Was that actual sprint around the base from your youngest? Yes?
Yes, they had some little goat race between the little kids. My kid was the youngest among those, so there's a reason she came in last. She was facing 4 or 5 year old. She's 2. The lady running the race says, "Hey, you got to stay off the dirt." She kid's 2. She doesn't know what dirt. She has no idea what you're talking about. But she completed the race. But she came in last.
Anyway, it's a slice of Americana. Thanks to the Hill family. We're all better for it. Really, it's awesome. Okay, you do have. Speaking of baseball, you have a couple of baseball plays for us. One is today, and one is a season long. What's today?
Luis Gil, under 4.5 hits allowed for the Yankees here. If you look, he just doesn't get a lot of rope. His first start, 4 innings pitched, and he walks the ballpark, which is going to get your pitch count up. It's going to give you less rope. To me, he's going to be like a 5-inning guy. He's got good stuff. He's hard to hit, but when you're walking people, and he's 5.5 walks per 9 innings for his career, it's hard to sustain. So that'll get his pitch count up. His leash shorter. I would imagine it's a shorter outing here for Gil and control issues. Actually, that actually helps the under hits allowed market. So there's a little juice on it. Now I think it's up to 150 or so, but I'm okay laying that here with Gil on the under hits. As far as the award, Don Kelly, manager of the year for the Pirates. I know it's probably a little late to the party. It was 12-1, I think, before the year, maybe a little bit higher. But to me, if the Pirates make the playoffs, that's such a feel-good story. And we know how the narrative, the story is there with these awards. Look at the rest of the guys in the mix. I mean, the Braves manager, Walt Weiss, all right, they had a down year, but everyone knows they've got talent. the Mets manager, the Phillies manager. Those are all the guys in the price range of Kelly. I don't think they have nearly the story. The one kind of fly in the ointment, if the Marlins made the playoffs, McCullough can certainly look. If the Marlins and Pirates made the playoffs, that would be a very close race. It would depend, I guess, who more wins and who won the division, things like that. That could bite me. But if the Pirates get in and they're plus 350, I think, to win the division, 3-1, to me, you get a much better price on Kelly at 5-1 to win this award. Plus, if you got a wild card, you could win it that way. So I think that's a good bet, kind of a proxy here for the Pirates to make the playoffs.
Pirates and Reds, both 10-7 atop the NL Central. A little bit different on the run differential. Pirates plus 18, Reds minus 15. Same record. Baseball. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Will Hill, everybody. Should have bet more. The name of the podcast. He does it 3 times a week. Kelly's on the latest, I believe.
Yep.
All right. Till the next one.
NBA playoff preview, everything.
Shoulda bet more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our NBA Power Rankings. Here's our massive intro. Plug it in. Live 105, San Francisco.
We haven't done these in a while.
No, we haven't. Well, birds.
We forgot our go-tos.
Birds chirping.
Yes,
okay.
Birds chirping, just like the Masters.
Here are my top 10. And again, this is if these teams can get to a point where they can gel kind of thing. That's specifically in my bottom couple. Then it gets more sort of logical. I have the Sixers at 10. Do I think the Sixers are going to get past the Celtics if they win tonight and have to face the Celtics in a best of 7? I do not, because Joel Embiid is recovering from an appendectomy. Appendicitis, then an appendectomy. Hope he's recovering well. However, if they were somehow theoretically to get by that and Joel Embiid became a little bit of a flash of Joel Embiid in the past, I'll make them the 10th ranked team in the NBA just as a nod to that franchise. Number 9 is the Atlanta Hawks. Do I know that they're going to get past the Knicks? I do not. But the Hawks went 20-6 down the stretch. They had a plus 9.7 net rating after the All-Star break. Jalen Johnson was great. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great in an expanded role. Second best defense in the NBA after the break. Atlanta Hawks are my number 9. Let's go. And by the way, with those 2 selections, I want to apologize to both the Houston Rockets and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 11-12.
Wow, yeah.
Who are 11-12 for me, because the Rockets' offense I don't think is any good. I can't trust them.
Agreed.
And the Cavs, even though they went 19-7 once James Harden arrived, it's James Harden, and I don't think they're going to do anything down the road in the playoffs. Don't trust them versus the Knicks in a second-round game. Anyway, now it gets a little more logical. At number 8, I have the Charlotte Hornets. We talked about this earlier, the Bobby Mark stats with the Hornets again. They're starting 5, plus 27.4 points per 100 possessions, league best. 32-9 now in games started with their starting 5. They deserve to be the number 8 team, in my opinion. Charlotte Hornets check in at number 8. T-Wolves are 7. What is that a nod to? That's just Anthony Edwards coming back and the T-Wolves showing that playoff flash that they have in years gone by. I have the T-Wolves at 7. The Knicks are 6, not because of anything they've done, but it's like the Timberwolves. It's like, okay, I can see Jalen Brunson doing Jalen Brunson things and Cat becoming Cat, winning a couple playoff series. So I have the Knicks at number 6. Top 5 for me is this. 5 Pistons. I know people are down on the Pistons. I think they deserve more respect. I think it was smart for Cade to start playing earlier than the postseason. Pistons are 5. Celtics, to me, full strength with Jason Tatum. 4th best in the Eastern Conference. Nuggets 3, Thunder 2, Spurs 1. You know how I feel about the Spurs. Beat the Thunder 4 out of 5 times. That's my top 10.
24-4 since the All-Star break. The number 1 net rating in the NBA. 2nd on offense. 4th on defense are your San Antonio Spurs. And it's hard to argue that, Gil.
Thank you.
Look, I think this top 4. I think you could make an argument anyway. I kind of shuffled stuff around. I went Thunder 1. Spurs 2, Nuggets 3, Celtics 4. I guess I'm going the opposite way as you, but whatever. Those 4, I think, are the real contenders for a championship.
Agree.
I think I would be fairly shocked if we talked about anybody else winning this. Obviously, if we do, we're probably talking about another Eastern Conference team since we're only including one here. And then, I'm interested with your order. I'm a little shocked Cavs are out of it, but I think you can make cases for everybody else. I struggled at the back end of mine. I put Hornets 5. I just went through everything with the Spurs.
What a shocker.
I know, shocker, right? This is still second best team since the start of the year, since the All-Star break. If you're just looking at net rating, offense, number one offense in the NBA since the All-Star break. And this is with a down kind of end of the stretch of the season. So I just want them to get in. I want that people to see this team in a 7-game series. I think it looks like a different team, or it looks like what you've seen for much of the regular season. I have the Cavs 6. This was tough for me. Cavs 6, Knicks 7, Pistons 8. All have a chance. I don't really believe in any of them winning.